Well, hello, hello, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson with Nurses Feed Their Young. Today we are talking about I'm a nurse, I started a business, and it isn't working. So as you pop in today, I want you to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching me on the replay, please comment #replay. This is really important for me and for those of us working with Nurses Feed Their Young, because nurse entrepreneurship is not only trending, it is truly a way to improve patient care, the patient experience, and patient outcomes, right? So having nurse entrepreneurs be able to succeed in their business ventures is very, very important to all of us at Nurses Feed Their Young. And so that's why I want to bring this topic up today, because I know there are many nurses who start businesses and they don't necessarily have the proper foundation, right, to start that. Because honestly, let's face it, we learn how to take care of other people when we are in nursing school. We don't learn anything about sales, marketing, business strategy, anything like that. So if this is something that is happening to you or someone close to you, then that's what this video is for. So whether you're a nurse who has started a business, you started with passion, purpose, and a dream, and maybe now you're sitting around wondering, why is it not working? Know again that you are not alone. You are not alone. And so what I see happening lots of times when nurse entrepreneurs come to me, they have started a business, maybe they formed up their legal entity, they have maybe paid thousands of dollars to have a website designed that they cannot edit or, make changes to themselves, and they're not getting any leads, they're not generating any business, right? Does this mean their business is set up to fail? Absolutely not. It just means something's not working. It means something's not working. So you know what we're going to do before you get this sense that you need to give up and maybe that business is not for you. I just want to share with you a few things that nobody really talks about in business, and then share with you a complimentary tool that you can access at the end of this video to help you identify where the kink is and what's holding your business back. Because truly, nursing process, we're built on what? Assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, evaluation, right? So we can apply the same thing to our businesses. So the things that people are not talking about in business, we tend to see a lot of celebrations online, don't we? We see a lot of great things that are happening. We see people at their best in the social media space. When things are going well, we highlight those wins and all of that kind of thing. What I want you to know and understand is that not every day in business looks like that. There are a lot of days when you experience wins, and there are a lot of days when you just feel stuck in the trenches. And that's just me coming to you and telling a very truthful story. Even, for any nurse entrepreneur, I believe this is the norm, right? We're always going to have some wins, and we will always have our share of challenges. Okay, so starting a business is not easy, but it's a wonderful thing to do if it's the right move for you. So just know it's not your fault that you don't necessarily know how to do this. So far, it hasn't been built into your skill set as a nurse. So nobody tells you either that your expertise in nursing alone isn't enough to grow a profitable business, right? And so I think for nurses who've been working at the bedside and they see other nurses succeeding as influencers and, on different types of social media, it just looks simple. People make some videos, they get out there and they start making money. Not that simple, okay? There is strategy behind everything that you see on social media and behind everything that leads to a successful business venture. So you can have the best idea and the biggest heart and the biggest, best product. But if you are missing a strong foundation in business acumen, your dream is going to stall, okay? So think about it this way. When you became a nurse, you did all the preparatory work, right? You went to the courses, you took your college curriculum, all of that stuff, and you passed all of that, and then you even took board exams. So another level of examination before you were allowed to practice, fully as a nurse. And so just know, entrepreneurship, this is a brand new field that you're stepping into. And while a college degree is not necessarily what you need to succeed in business, you do need to invest in at least some formal business coaching to be able to really grab the reins of your business, understand marketing strategy, understand how to grow a business, how do you manage your finances, those kind of things, right? So going into business is not really that different than becoming a nurse. You have to do some preparatory work before you come in um, to have an easier go. Let's just say it that way. So common reasons that nurse businesses fail. Let's just talk about a couple of these. A lot of people feel like the product or service I have is something that everybody needs. This is one of the biggest things that holds back a nurse-owned business, because the truth is, if we're speaking to everybody, nobody is hearing our message clearly. So it's really important to identify who is the person. You've heard the term ideal client or avatar. Who is that person that you would love to work with, that just lights your fire when you want to work with them? And when you get clear on who that is, and I'm talking knowing male or female, what age, what kind of career are they in, do they have college education, do they own or rent their home? I mean, all of that is very, very important to know and understand, as well as things like, what is their emotional state? What are they experiencing stress wise? It's just important to know as much as you can about your ideal client, because when you can get clear on your messaging and who you're talking to, people's ears will begin to perk up and they will start listening to your messages, hearing you, and coming closer. The next reason that you may be struggling in your business is that maybe your offer isn't clear. Maybe your product or service, is just something that people aren't understanding. It may actually be incredible, and trust me, I'm betting that it is. But if your offer, what it is that you're working to sell or wanting to provide to your ideal client to help them up level in their own life, if it's not packaged and priced right, people will not buy. Okay? A lot of people focus on selling features in their product. So it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. People really want to know, guess what? How does it benefit me? What's in it for me? I don't necessarily need to know all of these features, bells and whistles that it has. So when I talk about benefits, I'm talking about, in this lesson, you're going to learn this so you can XYZ. Do you see what I mean? I want to talk about the benefits of what they're going to get from the product or service that I offer. Does that make sense? So you got to get clear on your offer clarity. Another place that we fail as nurse entrepreneurs, again, because we haven't been trained in it, is that we lack marketing strategy. So we kind of post randomly on social media, and it might be a quick, hey, buy my thing. I've got this thing I did, and you can buy it here. There's no solid strategy behind what you're doing to properly promote your product or service so that people can begin to use it and you can begin serving the people that you so want to serve, right? So again, not your fault. It's just not in nursing school curriculum, right? It's not something we learn as nurses. You may also have, no system or structure. Maybe you just feel like, oh, everybody out there. And this is, I think, what most people think. If you're working bedside and thinking of starting a business, again, it just looks really easy. People are out there and they're starting businesses and they're making money. They're dancing, they're having fun, they're doing all these kinds of things, right? So surely it doesn't have to be difficult. Those people don't look like they have systems or structure in place. But I guarantee you, the successful businesses, the business that nurses are starting that are very, very successful, have a solid social media marketing plan. They have certain assets for their business, including a website, maybe an auto booking calendar, an email newsletter, various types of things. So there's a system to how you interact with them as a consumer. So these are key elements of having a successful business. The next thing is, and this is really huge, mindset and isolation. I mean, we have to call that big bad boy out, because lacking a positive growth mindset is the quickest way to see your business fail. Okay, it's very, very important. The world in general tends to be a very harsh and kind of negative place, right? The news feed, everything we see and hear tends to be very, very negative. So it's important for us to purposefully flood our mind with positive, inspirational content every single day. I love to do this first thing in the morning, where I read a book, a positive book. For 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, I do some journaling and that kind of thing. Really just helps me to get my mind in the right place so that I can move forward. Do you see what I mean? Your mindset, you've got to guard what is between your ears. And if you're not taking steps to do that every single day, I want to encourage you to do that right away, because you don't have to suffer, and you certainly don't have to suffer alone, right? There are many, many nurse entrepreneurs out here, and I actually have one of the many complimentary Facebook communities that you can join. It's about 5,000 nurse entrepreneurs in there where we talk everything entrepreneurship. So find your people, find your tribe, and hang with people who are going the same way, or maybe even who are a little further advanced than you are, so that they can bring you along to the next level. Does that make sense? Very, very important. So again, I want you to know that if you're experiencing any of these problems, like lack of offer clarity, maybe your stuff's not selling, you haven't really put a marketing strategy in place, it's not at all because you're not good enough and you don't have enough skills. It's because so far you haven't learned how, right? Nobody ever taught you how to run a business. And so here's what I know. I know that you can turn this around, but it starts with this: knowing where your business is breaking down. And this is where nursing process comes in. And we have an opportunity to look at an assessment. Let's assess that business top to bottom, inside out, up and down, and let's see what's working and what's not working. The next thing is we want to diagnose those problems and challenges that we're having. We want to then make a plan so that we can move our business forward. We want to set up some interventions or strategies, right? Marketing strategies. Let's set up some funnels. All of those things are going to work for us. And then we want to evaluate. And if on evaluation we're still struggling, or maybe some things have improved, but some things are not quite where we want them to be, then we can start that process all over again, right? As nurses, you are keenly equipped for entrepreneurship with the nursing process. I want you to hear that loud and clear. And so that's why I've created the Nurse Entrepreneur Revenue Readiness Scan. It's a free diagnostic tool that you can use just to see exactly what's working, what's missing, and what you should do first, right? To repair it so that you can start moving forward with your purpose and passion and achieve your dreams. Okay? So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, if you're tired of wondering what you're doing wrong, take 3 minutes and complete the Revenue Readiness Scan. You're going to get some instant feedback with that, and you're going to be really clear on your next steps. But believe me, you did not leave the bedside only to feel stuck again. Right? You became a nurse entrepreneur because you were meant to lead, serve, and impact on your terms. Let's learn what's not working in your business and let's fix it so that you can start serving the people you want to serve and your business can start serving you. Click the link below this video and I will see you soon. Bye.